Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I think 6.
6? Holy shit. That's pretty good.
Right back, Brian.
Sure.
Not talking to me.
Story of my life.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to James Jerome Sports Complex on a brisk but beautiful October morning. We're here for the OCAA 2017 Women's Soccer Provincials, brought to you by Bel Air Direct. My name's Noah Vout. Joining me today is Brian Ashton, president of Northern Soccer Academy. Thanks for being here today, Brian.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Going in game number 1 today, we have the Humber Hawks taking on the St. Clair Saints. A rematch of last year's quarterfinal that saw the Hawks take the game 1-0. We are underway here on the field. An early out of bounds for a throw-in for Humber on the far side of the field. Slowly working their way up the left side of the field. St. Clair says no thank you to that and sends the ball back into the Humber end. A big kick from the goalkeeper for the Hawks. And it's a one-on-one race to the ball. Potential scoring opportunity here for the Hawks. Ball's corralled. And then sent into the box. Handled by the goalkeeper and steered out for a Hawks corner. Julia Alberti taking the corner for the Hawks. Sends the ball into the middle of the box. It's cleared away by the St. Clair defenders, but Humber right back on it and in possession of the ball again on the far side of the field. Sent out of bounds for a goal kick. Now, Brian, prior to the broadcast starting today, you were mentioning the frost on the field and a potential problem that could cause for the players. From a tactical point of view, is there something the coaches need to do to handle that?
I think, the first 10 minutes of any game, you're feeling each other out. It's like a boxing match. They got to get used to the conditions, of course. I know they came out and had a warm-up, but with the field this slick, the ball's going to slide. So I would, like I said, the first 10 minutes, it'll be feeling each other out and seeing what works for them with this slick field.
Yeah, especially for Humber coming from the city of Toronto, not really having to deal with elements similar to this. Ball in the middle of the field now on the foot of a Humber Hawk. She works her way through the middle of the pitch, one-on-one, gets a through ball in, again corralled by the St. Clair goalkeeper. No sustained pressure from either team so far 2 minutes into this first match. Playing a little bit of ping pong with the ball in the middle of the field right now. No team able to contain possession. St. Clair has it on the far side of the field now. It's sent ahead with that back line of Humbers in position, and it's right into the goalkeeper's breadbasket. And they'll start heading the other way with the goal kick. St. Clair with the ball now, working their way up the field. Willing to try and push it down the far sideline, trying to use their speed on the wings. No luck on that ball, though. Out of bounds for a Humber throw-in. Throw-in mishandled. Looks like a potential break here for the Hawks. They have numbers. Corralled by number 4 in white. She sends it ahead to her teammate, but into the hands of the goalkeeper once again. Just missing on a couple of through balls so far. Definitely looking to spread that defense out, Brian.
Yeah, you can see the. Yeah, you can see the field again. Select any through ball that goes through at this point until the sun gets on the turf and dries things out. It's going to go straight to the goalkeeper.
A long effort on goal from the Hawks there was handled easily. The sun is starting to shine here at James Jerome Sports Complex, so as it gets warmer and this field dries out just a touch, you should see an increase in the pace of the action. Humber putting a little bit of pressure on the St. Clair goalkeeper early in this one. Now with the ball again on the far sideline. Nice ball movement, some interplay from the wingers there. Unable to move it far up the field, though. St. Clair playing it ahead. Humber playing it ahead, where St. Clair was able to send it back. Again, the ball just bouncing back and forth in the middle of the field. Here goes Humber again. Now on the near side of the pitch with numbers again are the Hawks, but unable to corral it, and the ball goes out of bounds for a goal kick. Defender taking the kick here for St. Clair. Trying to play it down the near sideline. Possession is corralled, moved into the middle of the pitch and right onto the boot of a Humber Hawk. St. Clair struggling with the ball possession early. Humber, on the other hand, seemed to be in control of this game through the first 5 minutes, Brian.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like they're trying to establish a bit of possession now, Humber. I think they're renowned for keeping the ball. With the field condition the way it is, like I said, until it dries up, it should be a pretty even contest. But as it does dry up, I think we'll see Humber start to keep a little more possession of the ball.
One of 2 teams to come into this tournament with an undefeated regular season record are the Humber Hawks. 10-0 on the season, just a dominant performance through and through. Definitely one of the favorites coming into this tournament. As I mentioned earlier, they did take down St. Clair 1-0 in last year's quarterfinals, so you gotta assume there's some maybe some leftover animosity from the returning players of the Saints. Player slow to get up for St. Clair. She is back on her feet though, so play will continue with a free kick. Cherise Thomas-Tate on the free kick here. Sends the ball into the box, nobody home, right into the goalkeeper's hands. Ball into the middle of the pitch once again. Humber all over this one early, looking to probe into that back line of the St. Clair Saints. Unsuccessful at this juncture, but still with possession of the ball. Working into the middle of the pitch now, getting into a threatening position, but turns the ball over looking for the winger on the far side. Doesn't stop Humber from battling though. Looking for a call, none coming. It's out of bounds for a throw-in on the far side. Was that a foul there, Brian?
No, I think the Sudbury official here got it right. No foul there.
You heard it here, folks. Clean play. It's going to be throw-in on the far sideline. Humber in possession, as they have been for much of the first 7 minutes of this game. They have it on the far side of the field now. Somewhat slow beginning to this tournament, but we're expecting some fast-paced action, high-scoring affairs. The top 14 goal scorers in Ontario are involved in this tournament between the 8 teams, so we should see some high totals. Turnover in the middle of the pitch here for St. Clair. Trying to work it down the near sideline, unsuccessful. They still maintain possession in the middle of the field, though. The through ball on the left side of the pitch, unsuccessful. That one was looking for Jacqueline French, a big part of this team. Scored 2 goals in the crossover game to punch their ticket to this tournament. We have the 3 returning medalists from last season in this tournament. Humber included, were on the podium last season, and then 5 teams had to play in to reach this tournament. It's going to be a free kick for the Saints. Excuse me, scratch that, a throw-in for the Saints on the near sideline. Looking to get into attacking position. Ball's on the near side. Played into the middle of the pitch now. Humber's defense is just suffocating at this point. It doesn't seem like St. Clair is able to get any possession in the attacking third of the field. Out of bounds for a throw-in on the far side for the Saints. Humber back in possession after the throw-in. Unable to maintain it, though, as they turn it over in the middle of the pitch. St. Clair now with it on the far side of the field. We're nearly through 9 minutes here at James Jerome Sports Complex in Sudbury, Ontario. Out of bounds on the far sideline for the Humber Hawks. And St. Clair all over that one, back out of bounds for a throw-in. When a team's dominating possession this early in a game, Brian, when you're the team that hasn't seemed to have the ball much, from a coaching point of view, what are you telling your players to try and keep themselves in this game?
You just got to be on your toes. You can't, try and establish a little bit of possession. I think right now for St. Clair, looks like they're playing three up front. You want to try to get the ball in those wide areas and get balls behind the Humber back four if they can. It's just they're having a hard time getting the ball up to their strikers. But I think that would be the key for St. Clair right now, is to get that ball wide.
They're definitely trying to work it to the near sideline. They do have possession again here. A nice move by 6 in green to get around her defender, but she's unable to maintain possession. Here's Humber on the near sideline. Sends it down the field. A one-on-one break. Cutting to the middle of the pitch. Cross goes into the side of the net for a goal kick for St. Clair. A good effort from the Hawks. Every time they probe into this sink. Oh, it's going to be a corner. They ruled it a corner kick for the Hawks. Even better after that attack. You've seen them all over the St. Clair defense early, especially on the sides of the pitch. It's going to cause problems for St. Clair if they can't keep those sidelines contained. Here comes the corner. Right into the middle of the box. Handled by a St. Clair Saint defender and cleared out by the team in green. An effort from Humber, floats harmlessly down, and it appears we've got an offside ruling. It's going to be a free kick for the Saints. Now, the winner of these 4 quarterfinal games will advance to the semifinals, which take place tomorrow here at James Jerome Sports Complex. The losers will participate in a consolation side again tomorrow, with the gold medal and bronze medal games taking place on Saturday. St. Clair playing the ball over the top, steered away easily by the Humber defense. They haven't looked troubled yet by a St. Clair attack. Going to be a throw-in on the near sideline. Brittany O'Brien on the throw, looking down the near sideline. In possession are the Saints, but 2 defenders from Humber there wrap that one up in a hurry, and they're back in possession of the ball. A nice block there from the Humber defense on a through ball from O'Brien. Now they're trying to work their way up the middle of the pitch. Looks like they had numbers there, but unable to get through the midfield, and now St. Clair heading the other way. St. Clair again with possession now, working the ball out of bounds for a goal kick. An attempted through ball there. No one on the receiving end. And it's been a busy day in the Humber net for Vanessa Fiore. She's been the goalkeeper for every minute of Humber Hawks action this year. Allowed a whopping total of 3 goals in 10 games. The Hawks themselves averaged 4.1 per contest. So you know you've got depth and talent across this entire roster in white. St. Clair trying to get in on the ball on the near sideline. Appeared to deflect off of the Saint. Going to wait for the ruling. Indeed it did. It's going to be a Humber throw-in on the near sideline. Throw looked to go over the top. Unsuccessful. St. Clair right back on it, but they too unable to maintain possession. Hawks now trying to steer the ball out of danger. O'Brien working it down the near sideline. She's been active early in this one. The Hawks back in possession. A nice pass, but it is jumped by the St. Clair defense all over that one. Not a chance for a through ball, but here come the Hawks once again, probing one more time. We're 13 minutes into this one here. It's been a pretty slow affair so far, but we're expecting the action to pick up the warmer it gets. Now on the far side of the field, the St. Clair Saints. Ball goes out of bounds. It's going to be St. Clair throw-in. Anything that's impressed you so far from either of these teams, Brian? Anything jumping out at you?
You know what? The Humber seems to be, they're establishing themselves early on in this game. They're trying to keep the majority of the possession. Sometimes, though, when you're dominant in a game, you got to be careful in the back because it only takes one mistake, and if St. Clair can surprise them with something, Humber will be playing catch up. So they got to be careful.
And we saw in last year's quarterfinals, despite the offensive firepower from the Hawks this year, they only managed one goal in their quarterfinal game against these Saints. So you're absolutely right. If St. Clair can jump on a loose ball in the box and capitalize on an opportunity, Humber could be in trouble. They have managed the game pretty well so far, though. Going to be a throw-in on the far side of the field. Saints in possession again. Throw-in corralled and sent into the box. Potential opportunity here for St. Clair. Steered away handily by the Hawks and then corralled by the goalkeeper as she gets her team ready to start up the field once again. Big high kick into the middle of the pitch, taken over by St. Clair, but then immediately turned over back to Humber. The back line of the Saints clear the ball out of bounds on the far sideline. Going to be a Saints throw-in. Fortunate bounce for them on the far side of the field. They get it down the near side. An opportunity here, but handled easily by that back line of the Hawks. I mentioned it earlier. We're only 15 minutes into this game, but they've handled any attack from the Saints with relative ease. Haven't had to put in a sustained effort on the defensive third of the field just yet. Goal kick, back into the middle of the field. And the Saints are all over that one, in possession here. Ball going to the far side. Handled there by 16 in green, worked back to her wing back, and then sent again up the far sideline. Back line of Humber there once again. Battle on the far sideline. Ball does go out of bounds. It's going to be a Humber throw-in. Hawks are in action quick here with the ball, but they do turn it over again. Seems like the majority of the play has been in the middle third of the field so far. Nice lead ball here for the Hawks. Another pass up this sideline, working her way outside. It is steered out by the Saints defense for a throw-in. Humber going quick off of this one, trying to take advantage of this pressure they've built up. Working it back into the middle of the field now. Some pressure here from the Saints. Not as cleanly handled as it could have been by the Hawks. A turnover, unforced on the far side of the field, out of bounds for a St. Clair throw-in. St. Clair took down St. Lawrence College 6-1 to punch their ticket into this game. They're holding their own so far against the undefeated Humber Hawks. And there goes Humber down the far side of the field. Played back to the goalkeeper by the Saints. Corralled easily, but pressure coming. She turns the ball over, but we've got an offside there. Just not able to get back past the last defender there, was she, Brian?
No, it's a good thing that it was offside because that looked like it was a goal-scoring opportunity for Humber.
Yeah, definitely a questionable pass from the goalkeeper there. A risky one, to say the least.
But if St. Clair can keep they're doing a good job. The two center backs are holding their own. They're allowing Humber to have possession in their end. They're bunkering down, and so far it seems to be working.
Kind of almost a park the bus mentality to keep pace with this high-scoring offense. It has worked 17 and a half minutes into this one. Humber with possession here. St. Clair able to force a turnover. It's O'Brien again. She's been all over the ball for the Saints. It's deflected out of bounds off the Hawks. Going to be a throw-in for Green. Takes a quick pressure coming right here in front of us. Excellent defense by the Hawks there, just swarming to anyone with a green jersey in possession of the ball. It's now down the near sideline. handled by the defender and then steered out of bounds. Going to be a Saints throw-in. Definitely the deepest they've probed with possession into the Humber side of the field. We'll see what they can make happen. Throw-in sent into the box. Unable to be corralled by anyone and then cleared by the Hawks into wide open green grass. We'll see who gets onto this one first. It is the St. Clair defenders. And they're able to maintain possession of this one. Trying to work it to the far side of the pitch now. A through ball corralled by Fiore.
I think this is where St. Clair have to be careful when the ball's in Humber's end. There's space in behind, and they've got to be careful. They're okay when Humber has possession because they can all get behind the ball, but when the ball's in Humber's end, they've got to be careful.
Definitely, and now St. Clair trying to work their way through the middle of the defense. Unsuccessful on that attempt, and then the ball steered out of bounds on the far side of the pitch for a throw-in. Hawks ball. They're going to try and work it up that far sideline. Immediately turned over to the Saints and cleared down the field for another throw. Please try again. Going to attempt it one more time, this time with a little bit more success. They're in possession of the ball now, are the Hawks. Working it into the middle of the pitch. And then deflected off of a defender, but that back line of the Saints in excellent position. The Hawks back with the ball, and O'Brien again just playing outstanding defense on the near side of the pitch. Looked to have a problem with her ankle. Going to try and get back into position as the Hawks head the other way. Corralled by the defenders, but they have a little bit of a miscommunication. It is steered out of bounds for a Hawks throw-in. Not the prettiest of defending, but they got the job done.
Yeah, no, it looks like that St. Clair is playing with a sweeper about 10 yards back, which is probably a smart idea on this field. Like I said, until it dries up, if anything's going to slide through a ball, that sweeper's far enough back that she can get it.
Not only that, facing a team that scores over 4 goals a game, that extra security blanket, I'm sure, is well appreciated by the goalkeeper. Here's the sweeper's going to be in charge of taking most of the goal kicks as well. Looks like we may have a substitution coming in. We do. Heading off of the pitch is Taylor Thompson. Once we get a jersey number, we'll let you know who's entering the game for the Hawks. Coming into this one, Haley Mackey into the midfield. See what she can add to the team who's pretty much controlled the pace of play so far. Ahead in possession certainly as well. We're just about 21 minutes through the first quarterfinal game of our OCAA 2017 Women's Soccer Provincials. Both these teams looking to punch a ticket to the semifinals tomorrow and then potentially to the Canadian Championships in Nova Scotia come November 8th. The Hawks were on the podium last year, definitely looking to get back once again. They've looked strong early in this one, as they had through much of the regular season. We've got a foul against Humber here, going to be a free kick for the Saints. We'll see how they try and approach this one. Definitely potential for an attacking strike here. A nice over-the-top ball into the box, but again, Fiore all over that one. Sturdy hands all season, and a strong leg as well as she sends it into the middle of the pitch. Cleared by O'Brien, but right onto the noggin of a Humber Hawk. Again with the ping pong in the middle of the field. No one able to maintain possession, and it appears someone caught a cleat up high. And then a stumble from the Hawks, but it is recovered by the rest of that back line. Strong effort from the center backs there. Danielle Canhoto appeared to be the one to catch a cleat there. She appears to be okay. Looks like they're going to make a substitution. Potentially some blood there, Brian, forcing her to come out of the game.
Yeah, when the referee sees any sort of blood, you've got to get the player off, make a substitution. I'm sure they'll just wipe her up and get her back in. She's, I think, an important part of this Humber team.
Absolutely. She's been all over the ball so far in this one. We'll get an update on her as soon as we can. Appears it's going to be a St. Clair throw-in on the far side of the field. Clair re-entering the game here for the Hawks. They've got a full 11-lady side now, and we're ready to roll. Throw in from the Saints. Steered out past the end line. Going to be a goal kick. Coming on the near side of the pitch here is Vanessa Fiore for that goal kick. Looking on the near side of the field here. Steered into the middle of the pitch and then corralled by the Saints. Humber all over them, though, not letting anything happen. Possession now on the near side of the field, and then worked back into their box by the Hawks. Into the middle of the pitch and then to the far side. But the Saints were able to get the foot to that one and maintain possession on the far side of the field. They're going to try and work their way up that far side now, unsuccessfully. Through balls appear to be just a little too heavy, Brian. They're putting a little bit too much weight behind them.
Yeah, they're getting used to the field still. I mean, it's we got the hospital on the other side taking care of the sun, keeping the sun off of it, and it's going to be damp for a little bit. So anything that's any sort of a through ball is not going to be on anybody's foot. It looks like it'll just go through either to the goalkeeper or. But until it dries up, we'll have
Humber
to
takes a quick throw in on the far side. Sorry to cut you off there, Brian. And then St. Clair back in possession already with this one. On the far side of the pitch once again, looking to the middle of the field now. Ball is into the box, but well handled by that Humber back line once again. Ball into the middle of the pitch now. Saints back in possession. A nice move there. A nice touch pass. Give and go. 2-on-1. The shot handled by Fiore. A good effort from the Saints. An even better save from the Hawks goalkeeper.
That's the best chance of the game so far. It goes to St. Clair.
And that's just what you said. If they can capitalize on those opportunities despite the possession of the Hawks, they'll be able to make something happen in this quarterfinal.
Absolutely. And Humber doesn't look like they're never looking to just kick the ball long. They're always looking to find somebody. They don't just kick it away. They look to pass their way out of the back, even if it's a dangerous situation like that one.
Yeah, nearly a scoring opportunity right away for the Saints after their last one. Now Humber with the ball on the far side, turned over to the Saints defenders. They haven't been even able to get to that sweeper in a couple of minutes here. St. Clair all over the ball at this point of the game. Try to get it through to their striker. Handled by the defense. Moved down the near side. But a missed pass. And a little bit of disagreement there from Haley Mackey on the choice of passes on that one. Saints with the ball here. Steered out of bounds. Humber ball. Excuse me, scratch that. Going to be a St. Clair throw in here. Free kick, foul. Cherise Thomas-Tate with the kick. She came up limping after that one. Her knee is taped up. We'll keep an eye on her, see if she's able to stay in the game. O'Brien unable to corral the ball there. Turned over to Mackey. She's working it to the far side of the pitch now. Humber still with the ball now, working down that far side of the field. Through ball all the way to the goalkeeper. Handled easily. St. Clair gets ready to head the other way.
Looks like Humber, I mean, it looks like they have some depth. No matter who they bring in off the bench, they're gonna be an impact. I think that's, the size of the school, the caliber of player that goes to Humber. They're always gonna, 18-player roster. Anybody can come in and do just as good a job as the player that starts.
About 32,000 students enrolled at Humber, nearly double the size of my hometown. And here they head the other way, but do turn the ball over to the back line. They are able to corral on the far side of the field, though. A nice move to create some space for the Hawks. Into the middle of the pitch now. Working it to the near side of the field. In possession are the Hawks. With an opportunity here, ball is handled easily by the St. Clair Saints goalkeeper. But probably the most dangerous shot we've seen from Humber so far. That was Claudia Piazzi, second leading goal scorer on this team. Looking at another one in the postseason there. We're just about 28 minutes through the first half of game number 1 here at James Jerome Sports Complex. No score yet, but it has been a high-quality game Opportunities at both ends, both teams looking good and getting plenty of chances. Free kick here for the Hawks from about the 35-yard line of the pitch here. We'll see if it's an attempt on goal or if they're going to look for a header from one of her teammates. Here's Piazza again with the ball. She looks on net, and it's steered away and then corralled. Great effort from the Saints keeper and a solid effort off of that free kick as well. St. Clair tries the through ball once again. Cleared away, but there does appear to be a foul against the Hawks on the play. Going to be a free kick on the far side of the field. Scratch that. No, it is a free kick on the far side of the field. St. Clair takes that one quick. They work the ball slowly into the attacking third of the field, trying to probe through that back line. Unsuccessful at this juncture, and the Hawks head the other way, but do turn the ball over. Foot race here for it on the far side of the field. And that's what that sweeper's there for, Brian.
Yeah.
Plays like that, she's able to clear it. That last line of the defense staying true to its moniker on that one. Hawks back in possession here. They do turn it over quite quickly, but get it back just as fast. Through ball here, Piazza unable to connect with that one. She had one defender to beat. Oh, an attempt here potentially for the Hawks. A great move from 17 and White, but she's unable to maintain possession to get a shot off. And we have a whistle here. Looks like it's going to be a free kick from a solid attacking position for the Hawks, trying to capitalize on some pressure they've had in the last 30 seconds or so.
Yeah, if it's a direct kick here, it looks like if they got somebody that can strike the ball on net and maybe look for a rebound.
Julia Zanardi stepping behind the ball on this one. She led the team in scoring this year. Definitely a threat to put the ball in the net from this distance for sure. We'll see what she tries here. Appears to be an attempt off net, on net, but steered away by the wall and out of bounds for a corner kick for the Hawks. Strategically, Wall doing his job there.
Yeah, no, it's the Wall did its job. Corner kick. They've got to get rid of this one here and could possibly get them on a counter.
Hawks with the corner on the near side of the field. It's Mackey on the kick. She sends it into the middle of the box, but no one home on the receiving end. St. Clair able to maintain for possession for a brief moment and head the other way. Still with the ball and still running. A good effort to clear her defensive side of the field. But here come the Hawks once again. They're getting a little bit more aggressive as this game goes on. Could come back to haunt them as St. Clair heading this way with the numbers and pressure. Fiore clears the ball out for the Hawks. So reliable in that net. Just a safety blanket for this team. A ridiculous amount of trust in their goalkeeper. And for all the right reasons, as I mentioned before, absolutely dominant all season. Played every single minute for this Hawks team. St. Clair with possession now in their own end. Now working up the near side of the field. Potential opportunity here for the Saints. They're going to go back to the goalkeeper. Pressure coming. Lucky to clear that one away was Fiore. She's going to have to get back in position here. Good work to roll back on the defensive side there from Piazza to clear up that mess for her defenders. Potential opportunity here for the Hawks. Running on the ball now. Two defenders and the shot steered wide. Not a lot of room to take advantage of there.
No. Well done here. St. Clair's holding their own. They could possibly squeeze one. I think Humber's the downfall could be from trying to keep possession in their own end when it could be cleared. I mean, I think that the style of soccer that they're trying to play is attractive, but maybe they're undoing here.
We've seen it twice now where they've gone back to their own goalkeeper in kind of a dangerous scenario, and neither time it hurt them, but you don't want to keep taking those chances all game long.
No. Tempting fate.
Exactly. Going to be a goal kick here for the Saints. Appears that we've got a new sweeper. Oh, no. I was incorrect. Cleared out by the Saints there. That was Charisse Thomas-Tate that cleared that one out. Now Humber with the ball. Sent to the far sideline by the Saints. Going to be a throw-in for the Hawks. Nearly 33 minutes into this one. 4 shots on goal for Humber. 2 for St. Clair. Busier action at the St. Clair end as it's 7 saves for the goalkeeper at this point.
Looks like St. Clair's changed a bit of a formation here. It looked like they were playing with 3 up front. The winger seems to have dropped a bit into more of a 4-4-2 now.
Just a little bit more security on the defensive
I
side
think
of the ball
so,
in
yeah.
that way?
They're not having any success getting the ball to their strikers, so they're just going to bunker down maybe and hope for a counterattack.
Humber working the ball down the far side of the pitch. Room to work here for the Hawks. Center ball into the middle of the box, handled by St. Clair. And they are able to maintain possession, but not able to keep it going. We have a player down for the Saints. Humber with the ball, though. Piazza taking a shot, trying to curl this one in. Stopped by the keeper, but not able to be contained. And then steered out for what? Oh, no. St. Clair able to get that one and keep it inbounds. No throw-in just yet. Ball steered out of bounds for a goal kick. Cassie Nicholas appears to be the injured player for the St. Clair Saints. I imagine we'll get a substitution coming for her shortly. Struggling to put weight on that right knee right now.
I think it's important when St. Clair get an opportunity on the throw-in or free kicks or corners in Humber's end. They've got to take advantage. They've had one free kick in the other half and decided to play a short one. I think they're better off getting the ball in the box and rolling the dice and see what happens.
Take a few chances for sure. When you're being outpossessed this much, you got to try and do something like that. And here it is, the Hawks with possession again. Mishandled is the through ball, but the safe hands of the goalkeeper there to corral it. Hawks heading down the far side of the pitch once again. Seems to be where they like to build their attack from. Unsuccessful this time around, however. It's back to the goalkeeper. She boots it to attempting to the near side of the field, but is corralled by the Hawks. And then right back into the hands of the goalkeeper for another attempt at that goal kick. Definitely likes this side of the pitch. Unsuccessful on attempt number 2 as well. Ball chipped ahead to the Saints. Room to run now. Working her way down the near side. Steered away effectively by the Hawk defender. And then sent down the field. See if the Hawks can get onto this one before it's out of bounds. They are able to keep it in play. Battle on the near sideline now. Still in possession of the Hawks, trying to work it out of this corner. Off the Saints. Going to be a throw-in. Throw-in not handled very well. Kicked nearly out of bounds. The Saints trying to clear it up the near side of the pitch. Headed down by Mackey. Hawks defense jumping all over that one once again. Ball over the top now, unsuccessfully attempting to connect with the striker. Into the middle of the pitch now for the Hawks. We're just over 36 minutes through the first half in game number 1 of the quarterfinals. Humber still probing down that far side of the field, but the first touch not great, and they lose possession. They are able to get it back now, briefly. Haley Mackey still with possession. Lost control of that one. Going to be a free kick for the Saints on that one. It's to O'Brien here on the near side. Ball trying to get up to the striker. A battle for possession here. Excuse me, that's the winger of the Saints, and she's able to get a through ball into the box. Nobody home on that one, and to the displeasure of some of the fans in the crowd here, no foul called on the play. Hawks heading down the pitch once again. And out of bounds for a St. Clair throw-in.
I think St. Clair comes into this game knowing that they're going to concede a big portion of possession. It's important to what you do with it when you do get it. And right now it looks like they just keep giving it back to Humber, which is, if they can establish a little bit of possession, try to gain some momentum going forward, they may be able to sneak one in.
Now we're about 7 minutes from halftime. If you're the coach of the Saints, what's your message in the intermission?
Well, we definitely don't want to give one up towards the end of the half. It's the worst thing you could possibly do. Gives the other team a little bit of a momentum swing, and a little confidence boost before going into the half. So I would say with about 5 minutes left, you want to make sure and be safe in the back. Don't give up anything. Just be safe. But again, I think they need to just keep a little bit of possession. I mean, kick it when you're in dangerous positions, but if you can keep possession, try and keep it.
Ball's out of bounds on the far sideline. Going to be a throw-in. Saints take that one pretty quick. They are able to maintain possession. Ball, it looked to be a shot from distance there, steered wide by the defender, and then cleared up the near side of the field and out of bounds for a St. Clair throw. St. Clair has to be happy with how this game's gone so far. Came into this game as the second seed from the Western Division, went 7-2-1 in the regular season, to be going into nearly halftime still 0-0 and really holding their own against it, as I mentioned, an undefeated regular season team, a downright dominant regular season team. Saints have to be happy, and they're heading up the field once again, trying to make something happen in these final 6 minutes. Ball out of bounds for a throw-in on the far side of the pitch.
Well, this will definitely be a plus for St. Clair going into the half. Humber, I think, is expected to win. They're always, they've always been a strong contender, and if they're not winning or up, it's definitely going to be a blow to them going in psychologically. But for St. Clair, this has been fantastic for them.
Absolutely, an emotional victory even to be tied 0-0 going into the half. Got a whistle on the far side of the field. Appears to be a Hawks player down at the corner of the pitch there. We're about 5 minutes from halftime, still 0-0. Hawks player back up on her feet.
I think St. Clair would be wise to keep the ball away from this side of the pitch. This number 17 in the back for Humber's had a fantastic game so far.
That's Dominka Phillip, and she has been a force on the near side of the field so far defensively. Doesn't seem like anyone's able to get past her, and when they are, her closing speed locks up any holes as quickly as they appear. Hawks with a throw-in on the far side of the pitch now. Now into the middle of the field. A 2v2 break here for the Hawks. Shot from distance, corralled by the goalkeeper. Not a great effort there, but the defense was closing fast. Goal kick into the middle of the pitch as the sun breaks out over the hospital across the field from us. Hopefully drying this field out just a touch for these players. A battle on the far side of the pitch. Again, looking like a ping pong game over there. It's going to be a throw-in for the Hawks. They've got about 4 minutes plus stoppage time to work with right now. It's going to be a free kick for the Hawks here. Here comes the kick, sent into the box and then back out of the box past the end line for a goal kick.
Yeah, they can't be wasting those kind of chances, especially with only 4 minutes left. You want to make sure you get something in the box. Those are big opportunities to waste.
Absolutely, and not just to waste, but just a poor effort. I understand from distance, but if you're going to attempt to put a shot on net from there, you got to hit the net.
Yeah, I don't know. Shooting from 50 yards is a little bit wishful thinking, I guess, but it's got to be on net or at least somewhere in the box.
Absolutely, and I imagine there's probably some frustration setting in for a talented Humber squad. They've done what they've wanted to do, maintain possession, probe down the sides of the field, but just unable to make anything happen offensively. They've had their chances, but unable to capitalize. And locking down this side of the pitch again is Dominka Phillip. Unreal defense from her in this first half. 3 minutes to go. Here she is with possession once again. That one deflects off of a Saint and out of bounds for a Humber throw-in. Phillip sends it over to the top. Ball goes out of bounds again for another Humber throw. They take this one quick. That one was Piazza on the throw. And then appears to be a handball call against the Saints. Going to be a free kick from pretty dangerous position there, Brian.
Yeah, this is at this time of the I'd hate to be St. Clair right now and let one in at this time of the game because till now they've kept Humber at bay.
Yeah, that's one of those back-breaking goals if something happens. But the back line's been strong so far, done what they needed to do. We'll see how they handle this one. Into the backside of the box, steered on net with a header, but right into the hands of the goalkeeper. A good ball into the box, but just not a lot of mustard on the header there.
No, not enough power. 2 more minutes left in the half here for St. Clair. They've got 2 more minutes to keep them off the board.
Yeah, probably the most crucial 2 minutes of the game so far. We'll see how they handle it, if they just want to maintain possession or try and get an attack going. They appear to be on the offensive. A ball into the box, and there's Phillip again locking it down. She's just been absolutely outstanding. Can't praise her defensive play enough so far in the first half. Here come the Hawks once again. Great work here from Mackey, able to send the ball up. Unable to find a player in white, but does get possession back quite quickly. The through ball into the middle of the pitch. Unsuccessful. They regroup a little bit, do the Hawks, and get the ball up the field. And there's the St. Clair sweeper, sweeping away the danger.
Yeah, I think at this point it's not a bad thing to do with a minute left. You want to get the ball into the other team's end and roll the dice, see what happens. I mean,
yeah, and we have established it is quite difficult to score from 50 yards out.
Yeah.
So if they're keeping the ball in the middle third to the offensive third of the field, I think they're probably pretty happy. Just about 35 seconds plus stoppage time to go in this first half of game number 1. St. Clair trying to jump on a loose ball here. It's steered down the sideline and then out of bounds. It'd be interesting to see
if St. Clair do score a goal, or if Humber scores a goal. If St. Clair will open up, you may see a little bit more of an attacking game from them.
Absolutely. Pros and cons to that, though. Once you're down 1-0 and have to take those chances, if that time does come.
Yeah.
It's tough on the defensive side. I think they're more than happy with how that first half has gone.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they're definitely going to be the happier of both sides going into the half here.
I guess that's the pressures of being the favorite. Anything less than absolute success is a disappointment. Looks like there's going to be 1 minute of stoppage time here. See if the Hawks can take advantage of that extra minute. They're still in possession of the ball now, making a break on the far side of the field. Offside on the Hawks. Going to be a goal kick here. About 30 seconds remaining here in injury time. See how the Saints decide to handle these fleeting moments they have left in the half. Hawks back in possession. Ball steered away on the far side of the pitch. Saints with it again, and then directed to the sideline, but not out of bounds. There are the triple whistles, folks. That is the end of half number 1. Score sits at 0-0 between Humber and St. Clair. 6 shots for the Hawks, 2 for the Saints. Great half for St. Clair, Brian.
Yeah, and I think they've accomplished what they set out to do, keep Humber off the score sheet, and unfortunately, to win the game, you got to score. So they're going to have to, get some create some chances on the other end at some point. But anytime you're playing against Humber, I think any team in the league that's playing against Humber, maybe of course, other than Algonquin, you're going to have to sit back and absorb some pressure.
And they did that quite well here in the half. We will be back for the second half shortly. For the Humber Hawks, it was an effective first half. Just not quite as dominant, I think, as they were hoping for. Couple of scoring chances. Haley Mackey all over the ball. And then Dominka Phillip on the defensive side. She's been dominant, really limiting what St. Clair can do on the near side of the pitch.
Yeah, she's been fantastic. I think that she's been a pretty solid player on that side. St. Clair's going to have to pick up on that and maybe move the ball to the other side of the field to get her out of the game. I think the more touches she has on the ball, the better she gets. So if you can keep the ball away from her, be in St. Clair's favor.
Vanessa Fiore, the sturdy presence that holds this team together, really locked it down when she had to in the first half. Not a lot of big scoring opportunities for the St. Clair Saints, but sturdy when she had to be, as she has been all year. Only allowed 3 goals throughout the entire season. An incredible performance from her. As we mentioned, this is a rematch of last year's quarterfinal, which was a 1-0 defeat, Humber over St. Clair. The Hawks They still haven't allowed a goal in the month of October, Brian. Looking at their defense there, you can understand why.
Yeah, they're pretty solid. And like I said, the only way I think that they will get scored on is by a mistake in the back when they're keeping possession. They're not a team that doesn't, they don't just kick it away. They try and keep it, which is good. I mean, but it could come back to hurt them, especially on a field that is a little bit damp and the ball skips around. I mean, you want to be safe. St.CLAIR is doing a good job of being safe in the back, but they should try and keep a little bit more possession going forward. But Humber, solid in the back. I mean, you can understand why they haven't let anything in the month of October.
All right, folks, that is it for us for the first half of game number 1 in the quarterfinals of the 2017 OCAA Women's Provincial Championships. We'll be back shortly at James Jerome Sports Complex for the second half and the rest of the quarterfinals. Stay tuned. All right, we're out for half. So I'm going to run and grab a banana because my son's hungry.
It's almost impossible to imagine life without computers. They've become such an integral part of our everyday lives. Businesses, manufacturers, educational institutions, hospitals, labs, homes, they all require computer network technology to function and to bring people together. We have incredible partnerships with Cisco Systems and the Microsoft Corporation. Our students gain up-to-date industry-recognized skills. It's really tough to find this level of training anywhere else. Our students really learn from the best. Our faculty have industry experience and amazing credentials. Each and every one of us is committed to setting our students up for success. Our graduates are great prospects for employers, and with several medals under their belts, it's easy to see why. What really sets our program apart is the hands-on experience our students gain. The majority of our work is spent troubleshooting real problems in live settings. Network technician students move on to even more training, or they start their careers right away. And our computer systems technology students can challenge industry certifications that open even more doors once they're out in the field. The industry is set to produce countless new jobs. Computer technology experts are absolutely in high demand worldwide. If you're looking for a career that offers variety, a competitive salary, and long-term growth, this really is your ticket. Every day there are new opportunities. In this field, you contribute real-world impact everywhere you go.
Heating, ventilation, and air conditioning systems are a necessity. All human activity relies on HVAC in some capacity. Homes, office buildings, industrial plants, computer systems, medical labs, they all require complex HVAC systems to function. Cambrian students hone their skills on a wide range of state-of-the-art equipment in workshop settings and in our computer simulation lab. They learn from the best. We've got educators with the highest credentials within our walls. And each and every one of them is committed to setting students up for success. Our program is endorsed by the TSSA, and we are one of only 2 colleges in the province to offer certification level training for oil-fired and gas systems. Students can choose to challenge industry certifications that allow them to work in the field while continuing their studies, and graduates move on to related apprenticeships or start their careers right away. Graduates are great prospects for employers. They're gold and silver medal winners at skills competitions, and many of them receive job offers before they even complete the program. HVAC careers offer variety, respect, great salary, lifelong employment, and opportunity. The industry is set to produce countless new jobs as the market for HVAC systems expands around the world. HVAC technicians are problem solvers. They keep equipment running smoothly. They are the experts who make sure all spaces where we live and work are safe and comfortable. Skills that our graduates proudly bring to their job sites and their communities every day.
The theme of the float this year is Fairy Tale Christmas to go with the theme for the Sudbury Santa Claus Parade. We went with the idea, the Island of Misfit Toys from the movie Rudolph, and it kind of evolved from there as the students were building it. And they went into fairy tales of what people and kids would be dreaming about as their Christmas gifts. So when you looked at the float, you would actually see that we had all kinds of things, from a giant train to a bicycle, stuffed animals, drum sets, various gifts of different sizes, that kind of idea. So it was just basically the spirit of Christmas using everyone's imagination. The float was constructed by our Theatre Arts Technical Production students, so there was first year and second year students that worked on it. And then we also had students walking alongside the float, handing out our giveaways this year. So we had a group from the Early Childhood Education Program, we had the child and youth practitioners, we had some student council representation there as well. So we had a really great involvement from the community. The actual construction of the float took about 2 weeks from start to finish, that the students were working during their class time and outside of class time. During the same time, they were working on a few different productions as well. So they put a lot of effort in. I couldn't even begin to count the hours and energy that they put into this.
It's hard to visualize what we're building. So when we go to build it, and we have to act a lot on faith from our professor that what we're building is what is going to look cool, and it does. But it was like, oh, we're just building a bunch of boxes. Like, what is this going to be? And then when we're at the point where we're seeing what we're doing, and we're like, oh wow, we have this sense of pride. I really enjoy it. Like, I came specifically to be hands-on all the time, and that's what I'm getting out of this. And you know, some people may say this is like a lot of work, and it is. But if you really like what you want to do and you really want to do this, then it's worth it.
James Jerome Sports Complex. We just got the second half underway. Noah Vout here with Brian Ashton on the mics. Former member of Canadians men's national team, one-time appearance leader for the Toronto Lynx. Happy to have your expertise here in the booth with me, Brian.
Thanks. No, it's great to have these events in my hometown. It doesn't happen very often.
Appears we've got a St. Clair Saint down on the far side of the field. Whistle blows. Medical staff on the field now. After the first half, the score still reads 0-0 in our first quarterfinal of the OCAA 2017 Women's Provincial Soccer Championships, brought to you by Bel-Air Direct. Thank you for joining us here today. It's a little bit chilly, but the sun's out and we're having a good time. It's an exciting half for both teams with opportunities on net. Nothing capitalized on, but if we stay true to the first half, should be some good action here in half number 2.
Yeah, I think if St. Clair sticks to the game plan, like I said before, you're going to have to let Humber have a bit of possession. You're always going to have possession of the ball. You've just got to be on your toes. And I think that sometimes as well, if the back line of Humber doesn't see the ball for a long period of the game, they've got to be on their toes because they've got to be able to react to counters going the other way. So it's important to favor for either team.
While the St. Clair Saints medical staff works on their injured player, it appears there's a substitution coming for the Hawks. We're going to provide an update on the down player as soon as possible. Teams are huddled together, just trying to keep warm right now.
I didn't see what happened there. I don't know if she got a knock in the head or in the leg. I'm not sure. It's hard to see from here.
Yeah, no need in speculating. We'll let the doctors take care of that one. We just send our well wishes and hope she ends up okay. A little bit of a recap on how this tournament is going to play out. 4 quarterfinal games today. And then there's going to be the winning teams advancing to the semifinals tomorrow. Losing teams get put into a consolation round. 4 quarterfinals, and then the winners advance to the semifinals. All 3 medaling teams from last year's provincial championships returning to this one. 3rd place Cambrian, our hosts. 2nd place Humber, currently in this game. And 1st place 2-time defending champions, Algonquin. Joining them in this tournament are Durham, Fanshawe, Mohawk, the St. Clair Saints, and the Seneca Sting. Pierce, the Saints player, is up on her feet. Unfortunately not moving under her own power, but definitely moving, so that's a good sign. We'll keep you guys updated as soon as we get some more information. Looks like we're going to get the game back underway. We're now 3.5 minutes into the second half. In comes the substitution for the Saints. It appeared that that was Brittany O'Brien that left the game with an injury. Played really well in the first half for her team. Hopefully we'll see her back on the pitch in a hurry. Going to be, I believe, St. Clair Saints ball at midfield. We'll have to wait and see for the referee's ruling. Saints in possession. They turn it over just as quick as they got it, though. And the ball's out on the far side of the field. Dominica Phillip dominant again on that far side of the pitch. Personally, if I was St. Clair, I'd think about it, probing maybe the other side of the field, trying to find some different points of pressure on that defensive line.
She's having a great game over there. If I was St. Clair, I'd be trying to. The ball seems to always go to that side, though.
Seems like both teams really like to work from the wings, at least on the offensive side of the field.
Yeah. See, this is an opportunity now for St. Clair on a corner, free kick, corner kicks. They've got to take advantage of these situations.
It will be limited opportunities. They chose to go quick on this one. We'll see how it works out for them.
They've got to get that ball in the box. They can't. They've done that twice now, where they've tried to play a short one, and the chances are going to come far and few between here. So they've got to get that ball in the box. Especially
when it's an uninterrupted opportunity to put it onto the head of one of your players. We've seen them kind of get forced to the edges and have to take their attempts from distance. Yeah. So as you said, any opportunity to get into that box should be a crucial one for the Saints. We'll see how they game plan moving forward, if there was any halftime adjustments from either of these squads. As we mentioned, though, St. Clair had to be happy with that first half performance, limiting a downright dominant team from the regular season, averaged 4.1 goals per game, limiting them to nothing in the first 45. Had to be huge. Ball out of bounds now for a Hawks throw-in. Saints now in possession in the middle of the field. Ball's into the box. An opportunity for St. Clair. Shot is wide. Unsure if that one was deflected. Appears to be a goal kick.
Again, wasted chances. I mean, they will not get too many of those, and they've got to bury them.
Definitely the first big chance we've seen in the second half, and maybe even the best chance we've seen from St. Clair. I haven't seen a one-on-one shooter with a goalie much so far in this one. Ball's on the far side of the pitch now for the Hawks. Haley Mackey with the through ball. Another attempt at the through ball from Julia Zanardi, unsuccessful. Such a crucial part of this team. We didn't say her name much in the first half. We'll see how much she gets involved in half number 2. 6.5 minutes into that half. Goal kick into the middle of the pitch from Humber. A header steered towards Zanardi. Unable to maintain possession, however. Piazza there to clean it up. Those two just so dominant for these Hawks in the midfield. Top 2 scorers on this team. And really the engines that drive the bus for them. Ball maintained possession. Advantage is called. Whistle blown. St. Clair ball, despite some disagreements from a certain member of the Humber Hawks. Looks like it's going to be a free kick from the far side.
Looks like it, yeah. Free kick.
It's going to be quite a run up here. Big boot from the Saints. Steered away by Humber. And then possession gathered by St.CLAIR. Ball worked to the near side of the pitch now into the corner. One-on-one battle for possession here. Ball is steered out of bounds. Wait to see who throw in it will be. Humber ball. And then steered out off of the leg of a Hawk for a St.CLAIR throw in. They're pretty deep into the attacking third of the pitch here. Going to have to look to make something happen about 8 minutes into the second half. Ball steered out. Going to be a corner kick. We'll see how they handle this one. Their last 2 throw-ins have gone further into the box than their previous corners.
Yeah,
so
they
we'll
need
see.
this one in the box. If they get this one in the box, they've got a chance to score.
And that will just completely change the complexion of this game if St. Clair is able to jump on the board first. A short kick corralled by Fiore. Hands like glue on that goalkeeper there. Anything that comes her way gets stuck to her as she sends the goal kick back into the middle of the pitch. Saints send it back the other way. Humber with it again. No control, though, as they turn it over quite quickly. Pass to the near side of the pitch here. Rebecca Spratt with it, looking for Zanardi unsuccessfully, and then corralled by the goalkeeper of the Saints.
I'll tell you that St. Clair has had less of the possession, but more of the opportunities to score. So they need to sneak one. If they can sneak one in, they've got a shot here.
And that's just the thing. It seems to be one of those sneak type opportunities they're going to have to take advantage of.
Yeah, possession means nothing if you can't score. There's another one. Here's another opportunity.
Yep, free kick, I believe. Oh, no, going to be a throw-in, I believe, for...
No, free kick.
No, free kick coming from the far side there for the Saints.
No, throw in.
They can't decide. We don't know. They're going to do something with the ball there on the far side of the pitch.
Get it in.
There we go. Back onto the foot of a Saint and into the box now. But, again, that Humber back line, like a wall.
Yeah, strong. Got to work them. It's the thing. You got to get that ball in the box and make them work, make them defend.
Pitch certainly has appeared to dry out from that frost we were worried about in the first half. Sun is tucked behind some clouds, but it has warmed up just a little bit here in Sudbury. Handled by Zanardi there, and then played back to her own defense. Pressure coming from the Saints. Ball steered up the near sideline. Unable to control it there. Correction, able to control it there. Rebecca Spratt, she plays it ahead. 2 Hawks cruising after that one, but unable to beat the goalkeeper to the ball. Ten and a half minutes into the second half here at James Jerome Sports Complex in Sudbury, Ontario. Humber Hawks taking on the St. Clair Saints. It's been an exciting game so far. An attempt from the Hawks, missing about a foot high and wide to the right, but a solid strike there from Claudia Piazzi.
Yeah, not missing by much, just a couple of inches there. They could be getting into their stride now as the game gets deeper.
And I have to feel the confidence will build as the opportunities mount.
Yeah.
Ball on the far side of the pitch now. Steered up by the Saints. Pressure coming, played into the middle to Fiore, who launches that one into the middle of the pitch. And onto the foot of a Humber Hawk. Working up the near side of the field now. A nice through ball. Spratt with lots of room to work with. Cutting into the box. One to beat. Pass in. Looking for Mackey, but unable to connect. And then cleared out by the Saints. Humber back line with possession again. Place it to the middle of the field. A nice little touch there from Piazza. Loses possession on the middle of the pitch. Able to jump back on it. Humber steering the ball up the near side once again. Cutting into the middle. There's Spratt. Her shot on net. Handed away there by the keeper. Great effort from Elena Banks, but Close one there. Another big save for her.
Yeah.
Great effort in the net.
She needed to get a hand on that one, and she did.
Sends the ball downfield. Saints in possession now. They turn it over as quickly as they got it. But they do have it back. Ball rolling now to the far side of the field. Going to be cleared by the Humber defense and out of bounds for a throw-in for the Saints. Battle on the far side of the pitch for the ball now. Allowed to roll out by the Hawk defender for a throw-in. She sends it up the pitch. Ball bouncing back and forth between the two teams right now. No one able to contain it. And then a lucky bounce for the Saints. Potential opportunity here. Can they capitalize? It is handled. They had numbers there. Just an unfortunate bounce on that touch.
Well, that's what I mean. I mean, if you get those balls in the box and they're bouncing around, and anything can happen, but you have to get the ball in those areas.
Bad things happen when the ball is bouncing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pressure coming from the Hawks. A steal there from Spratt. A great move to maintain possession. Working her way into the box now. Through ball there. Collected by the keeper. Great play. Working her way up the field now. Setting up the St. Clair offense. Or in turn, potentially the Hawks offense. As they collect the ball. Humber with possession still. There's Haley Mackey with it now. A nice move on the far side of the field. Zoe Longsworth there making stuff happen. A shot on net. Stopped but not handled. Rebound is pounced upon by the goalkeeper.
Well, the chances are coming more frequent now from Humber. They're putting a little more pressure on St. Clair. I'm sure they got a talking to at halftime. Let's put a little more pressure on St. Clair, and it's working.
A combined 44 years of experience from the Humber coaching staff. I imagine they're not afraid to let the team know when they don't see something they like. Now with the ball on this far side of the field, but quickly turned over from the Hawks. St. Clair with possession now as it rolls out of bounds in the midfield area for a Humber throw. Throwing right onto a green-footed player. But then corralled by the Hawks once again. Steered to the far sideline. Solid effort from the back line as usual in this one so far.
It's like a big hole in the field. As soon as St. Clair get the ball up front, the back line is way back. There's a big hole in the midfield. They'd be better off pushing up into their midfield to match up. It seems that that's where Humber's strength comes from, is the midfield.
Appears we've got a St. Clair Saint down on the field. Medical staff coming out. She's moving off under her own power, though. She's heading to the sidelines. Substitution coming in. We're just over 15 minutes through the second half here. Throw in on the far side of the field for St. Clair. Ball in the middle of the box now for the Saints. Maintain possession. Offside ruling. Goal kick coming from Fiore. Sends it to the side here.
Ooh.
A bit of a flying knee there from the Hawk player. Going to be a free kick. Great sportsmanship from the team there.
I think the ref will have a little word here just to settle down.
Yeah, a bit of an aggressive tackle there, I would say.
Something like I would do.
Yeah, and you told me in the intermission you were the Ty Domi of your team. So
Try to play within the laws of the game.
Free kick there from the Saints. Unable to maintain possession. They are able to regroup, though, and send a ball over the top. Takes a strange bounce, and then grabbed by Fiore. Possession is hers as she starts the Hawks up the pitch one more time. Ball deflects out of bounds off a Saint. Going to be a Humber throw-in. We're at about the 62-minute mark of this game. Still a 0-0 tie. Free kick for the Hawks right in front of us here on the near side of the pitch. Steered down that near side, but deflected off of Spratt's foot and out of bounds.
Looks like a substitution going to be made here.
Yep, player coming in for the Saints. Leah Behrens in the game now. Having some technical difficulties with our score clock on the stream right now, folks. Just want to provide you with an update. We're actually at the 63-minute mark of this game. We're definitely working on getting that fixed for you. I'll keep you posted on the game time throughout. Hawks with possession now, working to the far side of the field. Bit of a scramble in the middle of the pitch, but Humber with possession. A great effort there from Piazza to get it. And then Mackey loses it, goes down in a heap, holding on to her left knee. About 64 minutes in. Mackey's still down.
Looks like she got that on the knee. It's not a place you want to get hit.
No, that looked like a tough collision for sure.
She's done well as she was a substitute early on, and she's come in and she's done fantastic.
Yeah, I feel like I've been mentioning her name quite a bit throughout this one on both sides of the ball as well, making a difference all over the pitch for her team. And back up on her own 2 feet. We'll see where she goes from here. I don't see any medical staff on the field just yet. Possibility that she may be able to continue.
It's always difficult with girls with ACL, MCL injuries nowadays. You can't be too careful.
Absolutely. Not something you want to risk, especially when it was slick like it was this morning. It has dried out a little bit now, but definitely a risky proposition. Free kick on net, and what a goal! Claudia Piazza floated that one into the back of the net over the head of the St. Clair Saints goalkeeper, and the Hawks soar to a 1-0 lead in quarterfinal number 1.
Well, I think you'll see now maybe a little bit more of an open game. St. Clair have got to attack in the second half. They've got to get back into it, so I think we might see them open up.
I imagine you'll see probably a little bit of the defensive back line of the Hawks settling into their own defensive end, a little bit less chances maybe. Ball into the hands of Fiore now. Hawks with the ball in the middle of the pitch now. It is turned over to the Saints. Their attempt at a through ball deflected by the Humber back line onto the foot of the goalkeeper. Pressure coming from the Saints, though. She'll just scoop that one up and slow the play down just a touch. That was number 13, Claudia Piazza, on the goal for the Humber Hawks. A beautiful free kick. Almost a chip shot from distance.
Yeah, it's a little sort of a floater over the head of the goalkeeper there.
St. Clair with the ball on the far side. Able to keep it inbounds. But back onto the foot of the Hawks. Longsworth with it now. Plays it ahead to Mackey. Appears no worse for wear after the knee scare. Ball onto the far
St. Clair
side.
have got to push up. They've got to put more players into the middle of the field here to stop these players at Piazza in the midfield and this number 11 here they're so good on the ball. You have to get tight on them and not let them turn.
Yeah, Spratt, Piazza, both been dynamic offensive presences in this one so far. Have to include Julia Zanardi in that as well, a big-time goal scorer for this team. I haven't said her name quite as much yet, but she has had a couple of chances. The Hawks trying to work the ball into the middle of the pitch now. Now on the near sideline. Played up to Spratt with the ball at her feet once again. Her pass a little bit behind her teammate there, unable to connect. And then the through ball. Unsuccessful, cleared by the goalkeeper. battle in the middle of the field for the ball, corralled by the Hawks, but the pass a little too heavy and out of bounds. Near side throw in for the Saints here.
Definitely the sweeper for St.CLAIR's kept them in the game here, and the only way you're going to take that player out of the game is on a free kick, and she could do nothing about that goal.
Absolutely. Really shows how big of a difference maker she has been for her team. The question is, how long can you keep a sweeper back there down 1-0 in the quarterfinals?
Yeah, I think they'll have to start pushing players forward at some point. Maybe a little early yet, but they'll definitely be playing some attacking soccer towards the end of the game.
We just hit the 68-minute mark in this one. 1-0 Humber Hawks on a goal from Claudia Piazza. Whistle blown. Appears to be a foul on the play. Going to be a free kick for the Hawks here. It was a 1-0 final between these two teams in last year's quarterfinal. Free kick from Fiore. Cleared away by a Saints defender. Now still on the far side of the field. Hawks with possession. Ball looking for Spratt, unable to find her feet. A little bit of a miscommunication from the defenders there. Corralled by the goalkeeper though, and then sent back up the pitch. Over the head of the Hawks defender and right to her forward. Working on the near side now is St. Clair. Ball into the middle. Now on the foot of the striker. Jacqueline French loses possession there. First year player, really the offensive dynamo for this team. Ball on the far side of the pitch, deflected out of bounds. Hawks throw in. Zoe Longsworth on the throw. Substitution incoming. Alicia Prasad checking out of this one. Coming into the game, Danielle Canhoto. Throwing on the far side, unsuccessful. Saints able to take back possession and then steer it out of bounds for what will be a St. Clair throw-in as we hit the 70-minute mark of this game. 20 minutes of regulation action plus stoppage time remaining. Expecting quite a few minutes of stoppage time. A couple of injuries early in this one.
Yeah, we had a few injuries, so they may tack on 3 or 4 minutes at the end.
Saints on the throw now on the far side of the pitch. Back to the sweeper. She sends it into the middle, looking for her forward, unable to connect. Played up the far side by St. Clair. French unable to get on the receiving end, out of bounds, goal kick.
I think, as I said before, they need to get the wide players in a little bit more wider position. They seem to be too tucked in. Everything seems to be down the middle of the field, and that's playing right into Humber's hands. They're very strong down the middle of the park. These wide players need to get wide. They need to get the ball to their feet and get crosses in the box. It's the only way I can see them getting through this Humber back line.
I would think the same, Brian. Speed from the outside, crosses into the middle, try and get a scramble going in there. Because at this point and throughout the regular season, it's hard to beat Vanessa Fiore on a clean shot.
No, it's too tough. Got to get some wide balls, get some balls from the outside coming into the middle. Humber's done they're set up for this play, and every time St. Clair tries to put a ball to the middle, it either goes out of bounds or right to the goalkeeper's hands.
Humber free kick here. Looking for Zanardi, unable to find her. There's Spratt, though. Unsure if this is another chip shot attempt. That one handled a little bit easier by the goalkeeper. Could have been a pass, could have been a shot. Either way, it was a save.
Yeah.
Goal kick into the middle of the field. Once again, corralled by the Saints. And then moved through the middle of the back line of the Hawks. Right into the hands of the goalkeeper. There's the goal kick back into the middle of the field. Now into the defensive third of the Humber Hawks. Pressure coming from Jacqueline French. She's been buzzing in this one in the second half, trying to get her team on the board.
This is it. This is where St. Clair's got to put some pressure. They got to keep Humber facing their own goal. Because no team likes to play with their back or facing their own goalkeeper. It's an uncomfortable situation, and if they can put a little bit more pressure on Humber's back line, they may sneak one in here.
About 17 minutes plus stoppage time left to work with for the Saints. Having unfortunate flashbacks to last year's quarterfinal at this point in time. They're going to have to get those out of their head and put one on the board if they want to punch their ticket into the semis. Ball on the far side of the pitch now, out of bounds. St. Clair throw. They're going to take this one quick from the looks of it. Cassie Nicholas unable to maintain possession of that one, and it's quickly turned over to the Hawks. They're with possession in the middle of the field. Now the far side. A nice little touch pass, but the defender of the Saints, first one to get there. Hawks back line locking it down once again, steering the ball to the far side of the pitch and out of danger. Excellent pass up, tiptoeing it down the sideline, keeping it in bounds and working onto the offensive for the Hawks here. They do turn it over to the Saints, however. Through ball in the air, handled with a header. Saints on possession, but lose it just as quickly. Excellent play there from Spratt to elude two defenders. And now she's got room to work with. The ball can get to her, but it's swept away. Handled easily by the sweeper back there, Charisse Thomas-Tate. Goal kick, Vanessa Fiore. We're into the 75th minute of this one. 1-0 Humber Hawks on a free kick goal from Claudia Piazza. Longsworth loses possession on the far side of the pitch.
Definitely early chances coming back to haunt St. Clair. I think they had one of the most clear-cut chances in the first half, and it's definitely going to come back to haunt them here if they can't get one back.
Yeah, definitely did have a couple of opportunities to get out to an early lead in this one. Hawks seem to jump on possession at every turn in this game. St. Clair having a hard time holding on to the ball. Boot from the keeper. Grabbed there by the sweeper, but turned over to Longsworth, who's unable to successfully complete her move to get around her defender. French plays it ahead now, and then steered out by that Humber back line. They've been absolutely phenomenal this game. Hawks with it now. Here's Spratt cutting to the middle of the pitch. Ball at her feet. A good run from her to Longsworth now, trying to get the ball back. Able to get through, and then just getting underneath that one was Julia Zanardi. Normally one of the strongest finishers on this team. Nailed the field goal on that one.
Yeah, she just mishit that one, kind of bounced up on her. But again, good work from Humber, moving the ball around. The 11 here has done a fantastic job of getting the ball, moving it around, running at people. The front line from Humber, they're solid all the way through. Absolutely.
Depth, the substitutions they've rolled out have contributed as well. Just a very, very strong team, and showing why today. One of two undefeated teams in this tournament, 10-0 in the regular season, and cruising through 76 minutes in this one.
I think that, when you're dealing with some of the smaller schools in the OCAA, they don't have the depth of a Humber, and it definitely takes more than 11 players to win a championship, and Humber definitely has depth.
Absolutely. Appears like we've got a Humber free kick. Piazza taking that one. Maybe a little bit too far away to try and float on net this time, Brian.
Yeah, I wouldn't shoot from here.
See who she's looking for in the box. You got to think a 2-goal lead probably puts this one to bed for the Saints. Cleared easily, though, by the sweeper. Back into the box. Spratt has a chance here. Gets her head on it, but a save with the gloves by the goalkeeper. Shot blocked there from the Hawks. And then an attempt from distance. Floats high and wide. Goal kick.
Oh, nothing wrong with shooting. Every time you take a shot from Humber, it takes some seconds off the clock as well. So my recommendation always as a coach, you got to shoot. You got to take your chances.
Absolutely, you'd think the same message is being relayed to St. Clair, wanting them to put the ball on net a little bit more. They've just had trouble getting into a position where they could.
Yeah, they need to get that ball to their front three.
Hawks with the ball now into the middle of the pitch, onto the feet of Nichols. She's working her way up the field now. Her attempt is steered to the sideline, but not out of bounds, saved by the Hawks there. This one is, however, deflected out of bounds for a St. Clair throw-in. 12 minutes and stoppage time remaining in the second half of quarterfinal number 1 at the James Jerome Sports Complex. My name's Noah Vout, joined by Brian Ashton today, bringing you the action from the 2017 OCAA Women's Provincial Championships, brought to you by Bel Air Direct. A 1-0 lead for the Humber Hawks over the St. Clair Saints in this one. Wrong game of football played by the Saints there as a tackle results in a free kick for the Hawks.
Tough to give up fouls in those areas. I mean, you're letting Humber get out now when you had them bunkered in, and now you give away a silly foul, and they get a free one out of the back.
Almost a get out of jail free card there for the Hawks. The free kick was steered away by the Saints defense. But there's Mackey all over it again. Ahead to Longsworth now. Into the middle of the pitch. This is Spratt with it. Seems like the ball's been on her feet for most of this second half. Longsworth looking for a cross. Can she find anyone? No, it floats harmlessly through the back end of the box. Goalkeeper's going to have to make a play here, and she makes a good one.
She's done well to get it down the line.
Absolutely. Had room to work there, potentially did Julia Alberti, but she was unable to make anything happen. Humber back in possession in their defensive third. Saints able to turn it over, though. Question is, can they maintain possession? They cannot, but it is out of bounds off of a Hawk player for a throw-in for St. Clair. Throw in from the Saints down the near side. Easily steered away by the Hawks defense. I feel like Humber, as a defensive mindset, are quite content to let the ball sit on the outside with St. Clair like that and let them take as many throw-ins as they want.
Yeah, they're pretty confident in the back.
With good reason. They've been absolutely outstanding this game. Ball back to that defense again, over her head, and back to Fiore in the net.
It's down that middle, and they've got to keep that ball away from the middle. They've got to get some wide. If the ball's going into wide areas, the worst it does is it goes out of bounds. It's a throw-in. You can bunker down. You can try to keep them in. When it goes straight down the middle, it's either in the goalkeeper's hands or it's a goal kick, and it's again Humber's ball. So I mean, they've got to get these wide players into the game.
Just hit the 80th minute, about 10 minutes of regulation play and stoppage time remaining. Unless St. Clair can put one on the board and force extra time. They've been trying to press here, but unable to probe into the box just yet. The Hawks defense absolutely stout back there. Header from the St. Clair player looking for Nichols. Trying to run onto the ball now. But the center back for the Hawk controlling it well. Loses possession, but the ball goes out of bounds for what appears to be a corner kick.
Well, again, another opportunity when you've only got, the time is not on your side. You've got to put as many people in the box here and create some havoc.
And Humber definitely learning from St. Clair's tendency so far, running to cover that short pass.
Got to make this one count.
Yeah, from the looks of it, they're looking back post. They go short, unable to get a foot on it. Scramble in the box is cleared away. Going to roll out of bounds on this near sideline here for a throw-in for the Saints. So they are able to maintain possession in the attacking third. But the seconds are ticking away on their hopes of punching their ticket to the semifinals. The throw-in bumped out of bounds for what appears to be another corner. Yep. Steered out by a Hawks defender, so another opportunity here for St. Clair.
We've got the sweeper moving into the box now, which is a smart idea.
Absolutely. Just under 8 minutes left in regulation here. Saints are pressing, but that corner kick corralled by Fiore. Really handled that one quite easily, right into the mittens. And the Hawks head the other way.
This is where St. Clair's got to be careful.
Spratt running, cutting to the middle of the pitch, but well defended there by Cherise Thomas-Tate. She's been mentioned quite often. I think she's probably been the strongest player for this St. Clair Saints team in that sweeper role. Probably a big reason why they're only down 1-0 on the scoreboard right now, as the Hawks bring in a substitution. Coming out is Zoe Longsworth. Entering the game appears to be Shanice Bennett. Slotting in at forward. The throw in from the Hawks onto the foot of a St. Clair Saint. Her pass deflected away from its intended target, and then a nice sliding pass from the Hawks. Spratt running on the ball now. Has room to work. One defender to beat here. Cuts to the inside on her. Ball into the middle. Steered away. And then cleared once again by the Saints back line. They've been playing pretty well themselves. Numbers here for the Saints. And absolutely locked down. Michaela Zabalos shutting the door on a potential 4-on-3 break for the Saints. Light touch pass corralled by the Saints here. They're now working onto the near sideline, playing it up. Great effort by the Hawks defender here. Steers it ahead. Running onto the ball here is Humber. A great sliding tackle from Cherise Thomas-Tate. Locking it down once again, sweeping away the danger. Throw in near side here. Hawks working the ball back towards the middle of the field now, trying to find room to work. And a nice attempted touch, and then a good recovery by the St. Clair defenders to move it up the near side now onto the foot of one of their wing players. Plays it up, looking for the attacker. So it appeared to be Nichols who tried to get on the receiving end of that one, unsuccessfully. Ball played into the middle of the pitch. St. Clair again on this one, but lose possession quite quickly. Steered away by the Hawks. Headed back by the Saints. 5 minutes remaining in regulation time. Going to be a couple minutes of stoppage time as well. A pair of injuries early in the second half today. Ball on the far side of the field now, in possession of the Hawks. Saints are working their way up the field. Time is running out on their hopes for a semifinal berth. I expect an all-out attack coming from them quite shortly. Going to be a Humber throw.
Yeah, the 5 minutes to go. You gotta throw caution to the wind here. It's desperation soccer at this point. You've got to throw numbers forward, get players in the box, and hopefully they can tie this game. If not, it's Humber in the semis.
Yep. Throw in corralled by the Hawks. Allowed to roll out of bounds, actually. St. Clair throw. Just hitting the 86th minute, 14 minutes left, pardon me, in regulation time. Ball's in the far corner of the pitch. St. Clair trying to apply some pressure, work it into the box. Two players go down in a pile. Ruling is against the Saints. Free kick for the Hawks.
Yeah, the officiating's been good so far. He's let the referee here, local Sudbury referee, has let the girls play, and when you don't notice the referee too much, you know that he's doing a good job.
Exactly. You don't want a referee to have too much of an impact on the final outcome of a game, especially on a stage as big as this one for these ladies. The Hawks getting set for the free kick. Sending the ball up the far sideline. Cut off by Thomas-Tate once again. Playing incredibly well in that sweeper role. Ball off of St. Clair player.
There's a chance.
A prime location for a free kick for the Saints. We'll see who steps into this one for St. Clair. You got to think it's going to be their leading goal scorer.
Well, if they got a free kick specialist, now's the time to put her foot on the ball.
Just under 13 minutes to work with. Is there even any consideration of looking for a teammate right now, or down 1-0, you have to take a shot at net?
Oh, it's looks like it's an indirect free kick here, so it's got to touch somebody before it goes in. There it is.
An attempt on
Handball
goal.
again. No.
Excellent work from the wall there, though, to close that gap as quickly as possible. An attempt from St. Clair, floating high and wide. Unable to get her foot behind that one was Alexis Provost.
The wall did its job on that play.
And now a goal kick for the Hawks as they try and work their way through this last 12 minutes of regulation time. Thomas Tate with the header. Hawks able to jump on this one, though, and allow it to roll out of bounds for their own throw. The Sprat to Sprat connection there. Sisters hooking up on the throw-in. Back out for a Humber throw once again.
Looks like the sun is disappearing and could possibly be some snow on the way.
Knock on wood for that one there.
They're calling for it today.
Out of bounds on the near side here for a throw. Taken by the Saints. Ball out of bounds. Saints throw in once again. Not much control
ball in the
there.
box. Got to get it in the box.
Looking at about 11 minutes remaining now. Big throw there from Thomas Tate. Possession gained by the Hawks here. Working their way into the near side of the pitch. Spratt with it once again. Looking for a striker on the through ball. Shanice Bennett unable to corral it. Steered out. Humber throw once again on this near side of the field. The throw down the near side. Intercepted there by the Saints. And the ball's into the middle of the pitch now. Nichols unable to make anything happen, and the Hawks are right back on the ball. Spratt once again, her first touch a little too heavy, and she loses possession. She does apply some back pressure there to the Saints. A good pass, some trouble in the...
She passed it back. She passed it back.
Going to be...
Direct free kick in the box.
In the box.
Yeah.
It's going to be some tight quarters in there.
This could be crucial here.
4 minutes of stoppage time, folks. We are in the 90th minute now. Never a better opportunity for these St. Clair Saints to tie this game up and force extra time. Thomas Tate slowly working her way up the field. Looks like they're going to send all 10 into the box.
I would send her in the box. She's doing no good in the back here.
Has shown a big leg so far, but I don't think she's going to take an attempt from that distance. Back to Nichols, and her rocket is handled by Fiore. Sturdy as ever. Probably the goalkeeper of the year. 3 goals in 10 games, and a clean sheet so far in this one. Hawks on the far side of the field now. Haley Mackey with it. Nice move to elude her defender. Plays the ball through the middle. Thomas Tate cleans it up. Tries to lead her forwards there. Unable to get to her. Some scramble here. St. Clair losing possession. Ball on the near side. Spratt appears to have a step on her defender, working down the sideline. And there's Cherise Thomas Tate making a play. Down the sideline and out of bounds for a throw for the Hawks. Waning moments of this game here, quarterfinal number 1 of the Women's Provincial OCAA Championships. Hawks with it now, and immediately out off a St. Clair defender for another throw. Humber with room to work here. Shot with the left foot, a touch wide. I like the attempt and the thought. Just didn't get all of the boot behind that one.
Yeah, hope that one doesn't come back to haunt.
Here are the Saints in the middle of the field once again. Hawks lose possession, foul on the Saints, free kick coming. Starting to darken here over James Jerome Sports Complex.
Temperatures dropped when that sun goes in. Oh, offside.
Offside there on the Hawks. A good attempt just behind the last defender.
Yeah, we got to get this ball forward now. They've got 4 players up front now.
It's showtime. Now or never for the St. Clair Saints. Here come the Hawks the other way, however, in possession once again. The best form of defense is holding the ball in this third of the pitch right now.
Absolutely. I mean, it could be dangerous as St. Clair tries to push forward to leave themselves exposed in the back here.
St. Clair player double teamed by the Hawks. They're losing possession. Going to be a throw in for the Saints, though. Time is running out on their season right now. Going to have to make something happen in the next minute or so if they want to be in the semifinal side of tomorrow's games. Throw in coming for the Hawks. St. Clair gets a touch on the ball, but do turn it over. Big high floating boot downfield. Humber on the receiving end of that ball. Still maintaining possession. Great footwork there from 19 and White to make something happen. Here's Spratt cutting to the middle. Lets one go. Blocked cleanly by the defender. Another shot on net. This one gloved quickly. St. Clair's going to have to move it. There it is, folks. 3 whistles. We're through quarterfinal number 1 at the OCAA Provincial Championships. And thanks to a goal from Claudia Piazza, a 1-0 win for the Humber Hawks over the St. Clair Saints. They're flying their way into the semifinals tomorrow. A repeat of last year's quarterfinal game with the 1-0 final between these two teams. What did you see that you liked from Humber?
You know what? They're solid all over. I mean, they're strong in the back. The midfield kept possession, and the strikers, I would say if there was anything, you didn't see too much of the front line. They were being held by St. Clair, and they just got beat by a free kick. The sweeper for St. Clair is definitely, I think, their best player, and nothing she could do on that play. But man, what a solid team Humber has. Yeah,
incredibly talented, top to bottom. We're just going through the handshakes now. Going to wait on the Player of the Game award. Game number 2 coming up at noon today. The Durham Lords, 3rd seed from the Eastern Division, 7-3-2 this season, taking on the Fanshawe Falcons, the 1st seed in their division, the Western. Finished with a 7-1-2 record. Make sure to tune in for that one. Should be another exciting game here at the Bel Air Direct 2017 OCAA Provincial Championships.
Snow's coming now. It is. You can feel the temperature change.
In Kenora, they got this much snow last night.
Yeah, Timmins, they got a bit too.
17 for Humber. 17. Well, 10-0, Humber Hawks maintain their undefeated run.
Congratulations to the Humber
Still haven't allowed a goal
1-0.
in the month of October.
The player of the game. The player of the game from St. Clair Saints is...
We're going to get the player of the games for you guys. Cherise Thomas Tate, the name we said the most in the green jersey today, Ryan. Absolutely dynamic on the defensive end. And as you said, the game-winning goal was on a play where she was completely neutralized. There was just nothing could have been done.
No, I think she's definitely worthy of that player of the game.
Cherise collecting a jersey and a ball as player of the game. An excellent effort on her part.
Thank you to Boss Supplements and T. Litson, our player of the game sponsor.
Now Humber will be waiting on the winners of game number 2 between Durham and Fanshawe. Player of the game. Another defender, a defensive stalwart from both teams picking up player of the game. Dominka Phillip, dynamic, dominant, Any other adjective you can think of, she locked down her side of the pitch this entire game.
I think that you could see that early on. She was dominant on that side, and I think that it would have been in St. Clair's best interest to get the ball around the other side, because she was definitely dominant on this side. It didn't get beat very much, she maybe once or twice, but man, she was solid.
And even when she did get beat once or twice, Brian, she showed that closing speed to be able to recover from those mistakes, which is so huge, especially when you're a wing back such as her.
Yeah, I mean, man, she's got some good support. She's 3 other defenders in the back that can help her out when she gets beat, so it's a solid group.
Yeah, Humber's team, very talented. From the St. Clair point of view, moving into the consolation side of this tournament, what are some positives you could take out of this game and something you would work on if you were in charge of getting them ready for tomorrow's action?
Well, I think they've got to, move the ball a little bit quicker. Don't give away possession as much. Get balls into wide areas, get crosses in the box. I think to be at this provincial championship, you have to have done something right to get here. So I don't think you could say there's a weak team here. So every game's going to be a battle. You've got to play quick. You got to outthink your opponents, and you got to out muscle, out hustle to get there.
Jacqueline French of the St. Clair Saints was just suffocated by that back line of the Humber Hawks, and she, as a first-year player, was the leading goal scorer for the St. Clair team. So when they're locking down that offensive threat, it's going to be a tough day. Tell me a little bit about that free kick goal we saw. A little bit of an unorthodox attempt on net, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I think other than that, there wasn't really a whole lot. I wouldn't say a clear-cut chance, but I don't think that a goal like that, it's going to be tough for the St. Clair goalkeeper to look back at that one. Goals like that at this sort of competition shouldn't be going in. Something just right over the goalkeeper's head. It was struck well enough, but still, I think it was a savable ball, and she's going to definitely be thinking about that one tonight.
Unsung hero for these Humber Hawks. I feel like I mentioned her goals against average and goals allowed on the season many a time, but Vanessa Fiore, just almost a safety blanket, that comforting feeling knowing that you have someone as talented as her behind you on the defensive end allows you to take a couple more chances that you wouldn't necessarily take if you don't know that your goalkeeper is lights out.
Yeah, she looks pretty safe in net. Their hands are pretty solid. If you get beat, not only do they have an amazing front line, midfield, and back line, they've got somebody in net that they can count on. And again, it comes down to the size of the school and the size of the player the quality of player that can get into that school. Some of the smaller schools don't have that luxury. Tough for St. Clair to have to pull out Humber right off the bat. But you know what? Hey, they got scored on a free kick. They didn't get scored on through the run of play. Credit to them. Free kick goal. Anything can happen. I think that's where St. Clair maybe faltered a little bit. Some of the free kicks that they had, corner kicks in their area, didn't take advantage of. And those are the ones that you have to take advantage of. Just simple things like getting the ball in the box. You've got to put as much pressure on a team like Humber as you can.
Coming up at noon here at James Jerome Sports Complex, Durham Lords taking on the Fanshawe Falcons in quarterfinal number 2. Winner will move on to face the Humber Hawks in the semifinals tomorrow. The loser goes to the consolation side to take on St. Clair. We'll be back a couple minutes before kickoff for game number 2 here at the OCAA Women's Provincial Soccer Championships.